Hi Sagittarius, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome to Ethernal Realms. We will see how this April Aries eclipse is going to impact you. So this one's taking in a fellow fire sign. So it is going to be quite beneficial for you. It is bringing in some strength and courage, perhaps some endings to past chapters that are not really beneficial or you have outgrown. Eclipses bring about some major fateful changes, and in this case this can bring in major kind of endings and beginnings. There's a strong rebirth quality to this. First of all, it is in Aries, which is the first zodiac of the 12 signs, and also it is taking place in the 29th degree, which is the very last degree of a specific zodiac. And as soon as the eclipse happens, the moon moves into Taurus and carries over that type of initiatory energy from Aries into Taurus, right? So it kind of brings into a foundation. I feel like the ideas or the sparks and inspiration that come through in this time can really be grounded into tangible reality. So it can be a literal idea comes alive, that kind of vibe. And now keep in mind that eclipses take about 6 months to come to complete fruition, but you can already start seeing the peak around 3 to 4 months, depending on your sensitivity as well. What else? Yes, this Sun will be squaring Pluto. Pluto is a very transformative planet, and it will be at 0 degree of Aquarius. So Saturn has left Aquarius and now Pluto is entering this. So there can be some major changes in this area of life, more specifically major new beginnings, so which are going to be kind of revolutionizing our worlds, personally and also in the global scale. But it is basically leading to more of a connectedness towards humanity and kind of recognition of our personal powers as well. So because it's a square, it can come in the form of stress, like you want to go in this particular direction, but actually we have to figure something out first, or there are certain changes being made in one area of life and that there is another change being triggered in another separate area of life. But on the plus side, it can show up as liberation or breakthroughs from ongoing struggles of any type. So let's see how this is impacting you really in the internal space, also in the external, and see what shows up. We have Shiva coming up first. This is the god of destruction and rebirth as well. And destruction is very purposeful with this particular deity because the things that are just not needed, that's what kind of goes away. And this form is of dancing. You can see that this figure is in a dancing pose, and that indicates that while destroying, you're still creating. There is a creation of space, new opportunities, new vibes, right? New energy, a new you. There is that strength and power that comes from letting go of something, liberating yourself from an ongoing cycle, whether it is related to relationships or something else, right? And that makes space more fertile for a different level of creative force to come into play, into tangible reality. So really look at your energy levels around this time. There can be a real surge around this eclipse, and you might kind of be confused or feel a little bit scattered as to where can you put this energy. And if you don't channel it, there is a feeling of volatility, so kind of irrational frustration and anger and all of that could come up. And I feel like even you know that is not accurate, or that is not an accurate representation of what's going on. It's just a feeling of restlessness that is coming through here. So it needs to be channeled. That's why it's here. The surge of energy is there to boost you into forward movement. So yeah, the dance can be a very nice way to dispel excess energy, and exercising, going for a run, anything cardio is as well really good to get things going. But you can also kind of put your effort and focus in a different area of life that you are actually wanting. And actually that's the best way to deal with square aspects, is pay equal attention or focus in both areas of life that the square is impacting, because you have that much energy to express yourself into different areas of life. You might undersell yourself. You might think that, no, how can you deal with two things, all at once? You would be tired after one or the other. But actually, if you don't do it, then you just you still have that energy, but it comes out as frustration and anxiety. So we don't want that for anybody, especially not you, Sagittarius, being a mutable sign. So this here is a very nice way to deal with any excess emotions or drives that come up. Speaking of mutable signs, we have this here, which indicates the combination of fire and water, and it really combines the flexibility that mutable signs really represent. By the way, you are a mutable sign, and it indicates that you are flexible, and mutable signs are responsible for creating harmony and diplomacy as well, in a sense. Diplomacy, or just kind of bringing together different topics and different things and showing to the world basically that it can be done. Nothing is separate from one another. Ultimately, it all coalesces. So Sagittarius is one such zodiac which, because it looks at such a big picture, it kind of understands that the plant world or the animal world or the human world or any other world is really not that very separate, and they all function on similar philosophies, the literal application of which might be different, but they still are connected in that way. So it really feels like you're stepping into a sense of personal power. This feels more like your element. Whatever comes up, you are more capable of handling it, dealing with it, than some of the other zodiacs, at least. And if you utilize it a little bit more consciously, which you absolutely can, there is the possibility here. If that is done, then there is an inner fire that is ignited on will. Okay, so your willpower is super strong, and even Aries symbolizes that willpower. There can be a recognition of what you're really capable of, so that personal power, personal strength is really coming through with these two cards. Okay, so let's see what else we have. We have the 6th house coming through. This is work, routine, your lifestyle, daily habits. That includes your mental habits, emotional, and also physical habits. So yes, exercising, including some dance or other form of movement, can be very useful for you. Perhaps you're taking that up. There can also be a release of certain habits or patterns that have been lingering for far too long, and making space for some new things to come in. Fire and water being combined indicates that you have emotional and also physical balance here. So that's really nice with the 6th house too. Amazing. We have Sagittarius coming through. Just as I was saying, you are in your element. You feel a sense of personal power and strength. There is heightening of resilience as well. It's like not much phases you, not much bothers you. That does not mean that everything is at a standstill, or that everything is going your way, but it's just that you can make anything go your way, that you know how to utilize a certain opportunity. And with this card especially, I'm getting a sense of boundary as well, which is not really characterized by mutable signs. But I'm feeling as though you know how to take advantage of opportunities or transform certain obstacles into opportunities without needing to kind of constrain someone else or be malicious in any way, right? Not that you are being malicious, but there is not even that need, right? You know very effectively, efficiently how to switch things around. Also, I'm feeling a relationship, not really, but collaboration, relationship, that kind of situation here, where this person is very different from you, okay? Very different, completely different perspective, and somehow you have to work together with this. Or it can even be like some projects or new ideas that you get is just completely outside of your element or completely outside of your comfort zone, but you're still making it your comfort zone. I'm not really sure how you're achieving this, but whatever you're doing, it seems to be working. Okay, then we have Lilith, which is raw, primal, subconscious, and repressions. This is really the primal power that we have. The thing that is inherent within us and we are forced to repress because, for example, don't talk so loudly, don't be so opinionated, don't say so many things, don't think so many things, blah, 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 right? There's so many things that we are not supposed to do because, good behavior, good children, or good people in society, whatever the case is. But there is a sense of, I wish I could just be raw and just as I am and be unapologetically free. That's the kind of power that I'm talking about. And Shiva talks about that particular power. Okay? That deep knowing that we have forever inside us because it was there the moment we were created, and the things that die are destroyed or are released are really the things that are inauthentic to that primal being, to the very soulful being here. So kind of flowing with it with this dance movement is like you can flow it out more effortlessly. There is no pain. I don't think there is pain. It's really empowering. And with all this mutable nature coming through, it feels like harmonious, You're able to go with it. You understand cues, you're sensing certain things, feelings are coming up, and you're able to rectify accordingly. You're taking immediate action almost. Then we have the midheaven with individuality, career, goals, and public life. Okay, so career is coming through, 6th house and the 10th, possibly, is coming through. So perhaps you are experimenting with another source of income, or you might be playing with the thought of shifting to another type of forte. You might have, again, mutable signs are known for having many skills. Okay, that is part of why they're also associated with confusion or indecisiveness, is because they're good at many things. They can learn many things. They're interested in various topics. So this is one of those situations where you have more skill sets, or you want to be exploring those skill sets because it's something very raw and primal to you. This does not mean that you drop everything and create a drastic change, not unless you yourself feel ready to. But you can still kind of explore that option. Or this can also indicate that you're showing up in the world a little bit differently. Perhaps you're stepping up in some way and you feel more up to the task because you're also a natural leader. You can understand kind of the bigger parts of the smaller details. You can see the interlinking of the smaller processes. So that makes you very natural in like higher positions of authority. You could either be taking that yourself or someone else is kind of leaving, and that would be the destruction in a sense, and you stepping up to the plate, and now you have to work with some other people who were very different from you. You just have to make do in terms of harmony. This does not mean that there is constant disagreement, but even if there are, it looks like you're taking kind of charge of that situation. All right, we have strength coming up with Leo, which is another fellow fire sign. So that's really good. Strong boost in your energy levels, your personal stamina and strength, your resolutions as well. This is automatically a leadership figure, so you're taking charge of your life. There is no more waiting for the timing to be right or waiting for someone else to come through. None of that. You're just doing something that is your heart's desire and would be leading to long-lasting fulfillment and happiness. A sense of achievement is what I'm hearing as well. All right, then we have 6 of Pentacles, Moon in Taurus with altruism. There is an increase in finances, or you might be desiring an increase in finance, or at least an equal, give and take. If you're putting in this many hours, you should get just rewards, and nothing more, nothing less. Let's keep it fair. It's that kind of vibe. So yes, you could be exchanging services if you want to have your own thing. Leo is good for entrepreneurship. In that way, you're letting go of a certain job or a designation, and then you're taking up things for yourself. 6 of Pentacles can indicate you have people who are wanting to support you. They will be happy to invest in you if that's something you need as well. Moon is automatically magnetizing, so even if it kind of, in Taurus it is more slow and steady, but it's really about worth, right? Because why I say slow and steady is like the more time you put into something, the more attention and focus you put into something, it automatically increases in value with your desire for it to have more value, right? But it really is corresponding with the worth and the attention that you're putting into something. So greater your value, the greater the value that you get in. Apart from this, it can talk about some shifts you're making in your finances. I'm not sure why I'm getting that particular message. Two of Pentacles normally symbolizes that, but I'm getting that you might be moving your finances in some other place, which shows greater returns, which makes you feel more satisfied, and that you feel as though that money being kind of spent in another direction is worth it. Yeah, it's worth it is the Six of Pentacles here. You can also be purchasing things for yourself, which would make you feel more confident. Once again, if there is a shift in a job or designation or the way that you show up in the world, you want to switch those things, then perhaps you're getting a makeover in a sense. Right? It can even be in a technological sense, by the way. It does not have to be appearance-based strictly. Maybe you're switching up your desk or the things that you put on your desk and things like that, which give you that vibe of elevation. Yeah, that's the word. Okay, then we have the Page of Pentacles. This is really nice. Pages bring some messages. The message can be related with, once again, career, finances, but also stability in general. So it can be related with home situations if that's what you're dealing with. There is also a rise in self-worth. Page of Pentacles also talks about learning something new, or you're feeling very curious. So you want to get into something, spend some time. Pentacles don't rush. Okay, so it can even be a side hustle or a side topic that you're learning, which does not really have an expiration date. You can take your own time, do things at your comfortable pace and so on. But because you genuinely enjoy it, you think it's worth spending some time or money or other resources into that particular topic and get the value that you want. But you feel very balanced and grounded beyond this point. By the way, all of these things are happening because of your sense of inner resolve. Okay, you're deciding these things. Yeah, the Pentacles is really showing up in a sense of decisiveness for you guys. All right, then we have Temperance or Alchemy coming up with Sagittarius. Once more, we have Sagittarius coming up twice. Really goes with what I was saying earlier, that this is your element. You feel as though it's your element. So yes, you're working with various types of people and different types of topics, but it is giving you a more wholesome view. There is a sense of patience and moderation as well when it comes to Temperance, things balancing out, becoming a little bit more blissful, not too erratic in any way. So yeah, that's, I mean, who does not like a sense of calm and peace, right? Isn't that what we're seeking ultimately? So yes, this is one of those pockets where you get that. Also, you're being protected, you're being guided around this time, so you might see certain numbers coming through. For example, 6 and 6 could come about. Yeah, so far that's what I'm seeing. But it can be any other things, by the way. Oh, another 6. So yeah, okay, 666. Let's go with that. We have 6 of Wands, victory with Jupiter in Leo. That's amazing. We love to see that. Jupiter is your ruler, and in another fire sign, this indicates a lot of success and recognition. Midheaven is as well here, so you are more likely to be very noticeable. With the Strength card as well, there is more charisma that you are oozing. You're naturally magnetizing. People are looking up to you. You're stepping up to the plate. Either way, there is a heightened sense of recognition, visibility, and also leadership. There is that sense of achievement I said way earlier in the reading that is really literally coming up here with the 6 of Wands. There can be a success that you are celebrating, or you are worth celebrating over here. There's something you're really accomplishing. You feel happy completing this particular milestone. It feels as though you're on the right track. or you receive a lot of encouragement in whichever new path that you want to be entering, to create a different reputation here. And that support kind of encourages you, that fuels you up even more, and you know for yourself whether you want to go for a certain change or not, or staying in a certain place and developing on yourself is a much better choice for you. Either way, you figure things out and you're very happy with your choices here. Sixes indicate that there is a lot of harmony and peace, especially in relationships. So any connections that you have, your friendships, your love relationships, and also family members, there can be good, easy flowing conversation, nice correlations. You're not the same people, but you are kind of balancing each other out. You help each other out whenever needed, and everyone's feeling empowered in themselves, so nobody's taking actions based on their personal insecurities and projections, for example. So that's nice. That's always nice. All right, let's see your astro dice. Sagittarius, please, how is the Aries eclipse impacting them? Moon, how many times are we going to get Leo? Perhaps a Leo is important in your life. You might be emotionally attached to someone, and you might be attracting a Leo over here. Or it just talks about you stepping up into that Leo vibe of everything we talked about, that strength, charisma, confidence, presentations you might be giving, or you're just, you are the sun. You have that beaming nature. When you walk in, everyone feels comforted or more boosted and confident. They're ready to go for things. You're a natural motivator, a natural leader, and yes, you have no problems kind of magnetizing new partners if that's something you want. And if you already have a relationship, it can be that you're kind of leading the relationship at this time. You might be having some emotional conversations, or you are connecting or desiring to connect more emotionally with people around you. Yes, all right, one more please. Boosting mood is something I hear. Boosted mood. Yeah, perhaps you're working on your emotional well-being as well. You want to feel secure in yourself and very stable as well is something I hear. All right, one more please for Sagittarius. Scorpio, third house, and Pluto. All right, there is a shift in mindset, perhaps a shift in your neighborhood if we're talking about a home situation, or your co-workers. So your team might be changing. Some people might be going through some changes as well, but the third house also talks about siblings, more specifically younger siblings if you have any. They could be going through some shifts here, some subconscious changes, purging, just transformations. They could be shifting neighborhood, for example, and that can be showing up in your reading. Apart from that, yes, any mindsets that just don't kind of help you, things that you read or see or kind of interact with on a daily basis, that's not helping you and is actually a downer, even if you don't recognize it right then. In the long term, when you look back, you're like, for example, Netflixing every single day for like so many hours might not be the best idea, right? So in that moment, it doesn't feel really bad or really good, but over time, you might feel as though you're losing so much in the day. So you might decide to make certain shifts in what you engage your mind in, or what topics do you talk about. There can be a deepening of conversations with whoever you share some meaningful time, or you are spending your time meaningfully by, for example, reading something or writing or kind of communicating with your close members, deepening your intimacy with them, and so on. So very promising reading over here, really a more optimistic one compared to certain readings I've done. So really nice for you guys. That's what I have for you, Sagittarians. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts. If you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.